Buying a car in a digital age. Please come on stage. James, we have Gajendra and Francesco. Suya from Frontier, unfortunately can't come because his flight was cancelled. Please come on stage. Welcome.
Thank you.
And these are huge numbers, you are dealing with. Yeah. How big is the car buying market, or how many cars used and new? Roughly, does anyone know?
Globally?
Yeah. We're talking about millions.
Yeah.
Millions,
Tens of millions.
Depending on the European country.
I think it's $1 trillion or something.
Yeah.
I checked. So buying cars is a highly complex process, right? And the car dealers only have one brand, so you have to often visit several showrooms. How can this go online? Or are we just talking about the last bit? Or anyone has some data? We are always looking, actually already since the 90s, the online sales share, which in categories like music and fashion is very high, travel is obviously very high, but cars doesn't seem to be, since it's so bulky, a product. Can we talk a little bit about where we stand and what penetration levels? Anyone knows?
Yeah, for India, it's, I would say, in the new car, the offline, it's completely offline game, right? All of the cars being sold in India right now, new cars are sold offline. All cars are sold offline. There is no online transaction of
all cars are sold offline, but research online, right?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
That's where you guys come in. Maybe we do a quick introduction. If you start, brumbrum, very nice name. What is the core problem you solve, and where you stand?
We are solving the buyer problem from a consumer's perspective. So we are actually operating as an e-commerce. We manage the transaction, we cash in from the client, and we deliver the car. And we are positioned on two use cases, for used cars and for car as a service on new cars.
And you take ownership of the car versus the classified. So then you have like a trading margin on the car.
Exactly.
It's like 10-12% probably.
Exactly. We also sell value-added services like loans, insurance, delivery charges, etc.
You're based in Milan, which is not the most digital country in Europe, but obviously they're going. And we have later Andrea Piccioni from RealWeb, who talks about Immobiliare. You're operating only in Italy or also in other countries?
We are looking at other countries. Right now, we deliver all across the country in Italy.
Wonderful. How many cars have you sold? Is it a number you...
It's in the thousands.
In the thousands.
Yes.
James, Carwow is obviously a wow name in the industry, or you're the market leader, I think, in Europe for new cars.
Yep.
Tell us a few...
So we're an online marketplace in UK, Germany, and Spain at the moment. And we cover predominantly new and nearly new cars, so cars up to 1-year-old, 2-year-old. All brands work with dealers, leasing companies, manufacturers. And our core proposition is comparison between all cars, help you choose which one to buy. Comparison between prices, ways of financing, new versus nearly new, and how to sell your car as well.
So you take care of the whole process end to end?
Yeah, exactly. So we don't take the inventory, pure marketplace, charge largely on transactions.
Can you share what does it cost roughly to
sell a
what's
car?
the percent you roughly?
So we take less than 1% of the cars sold, and we sold, I think we're up to £7 billion worth of cars sold through the platform.
Oh wow, interesting. Cars24 from India, I think.
So we are solving, we enter the used car space in India at present. Our main hypothesis is that we want to solve the supply side of a used car in India. We want to solve the pain points a seller has, like you were mentioning, right? Where to sell your Tesla car, right? You didn't know where to go and how to find a buyer and how to do it.
Yeah, I bought this Tesla car, and I don't know why, but whoever drives with me is complaining.
Yeah, so
I'm not sure if it's my driving style or the car, but one thing is for sure, I always drive alone. And probably I need to change the car.
So seller has so many questions in his mind, right? Whether I'm going to get a good deal of my car, whether I'll get a payment on time, whether the documentation transfer will take place or not. So as India's used car business is quite new, not more than 10, 15 years old. So as we plan to capture the supply of used car, we wanted to solve the seller side of the problem first and build our business over and above as we grow and scale. So that's what we'll be doing right now.
And are more people in India now buying cars, or is the liquidity gone up
Yeah,
because it's easier to sell and buy new ones?
So I would say like 10, 15 years ago, there was hardly any market for used car in India. Like people were just kept on owning the car what they had, and whenever they wanted to buy another car, they just go to the new car and get a new car. In last 10 years, it has changed a lot. The market now of used car is 30% more than a new car. So,
yeah?
Yeah, so there are more than 4 million used cars currently being transacted in India.
And how big is the car park?
How big is, sorry?
The car park?
Like new car is like 3.3 million, and the used car is close
Car
to...
park meaning how many cars are in India on the street?
On the street, there will be around I would say, more than 20 million.
20 million?
Yeah.
So I think in Europe, Italy and Spain, the average tenure is 7 years.
Yeah.
Yes.
And in India, it would be then...
It has gone down to now less than 5 years.
Yeah,
Earlier
it's
it used
shorter.
Yeah, much shorter.
And there are no rickshaws included there. Okay, let's talk about the OEMs. They're really funny. I think first they were fighting about the electric car, and they're very much focused, and Porsche is one of our long-term partners, and the Vision E and all these products are amazing. But how are they going to cope with digital? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, you want to compare several brands. So an OEM who has new car sales online will always have a disadvantage to the ones who compare. On the other hand, they have the fancy video content, right? Are OEMs for you competitors or partners for your business? Maybe.
I see them more as a partner, actually, especially in helping them develop a B2C channel, which they don't have. B2C, a reselling channel.
Like having direct customer relationships in the world of Amazon is something, especially the banks and everyone is very focused on. So can you give customer data to the OEMs and be their partners through that?
It's not, in our case, we are not going that far because we love to keep our data for ourselves. I think it's more in the way we help them change the processes, the back-end processes. These people don't have a clear, when it comes to retail, they don't have a clear view of what is a B2C infrastructure they need to build on the digital space.
Yeah, they're like the watch companies, no? They
Exactly.
don't own the distribution. They have
So this is where actually they appreciate our help. And also when they look at the KPIs, the inventory turns, for example, the margins we deliver, the technology we built in B2C pricing, for example, this is something they don't have. And this is where the collaboration happens.
Who's your closest OEM you work with?
We have many of them. I wouldn't name, but talking about Germans, Italians, French, Japanese.
We like our cars in
Exactly.
Germany. James, how are you working with the OEMs?
Yeah, they're a big partner of ours. So we had Daimler invest in us a couple of months ago for the reason they see that full comparison between different makes and models, new versus nearly new finance types. That's going to be a core part of the buying experience forever. We work with them on marketing. We provide very tactical marketing with data, not personal identified data, but we have a huge amount of buying trends, what cars people own, what they're switching to, how they're shopping, electric penetration, et cetera, et cetera.
So you give a lot of data. And
yeah,
they need that. They have no way to collect it.
Yeah.
In Cars24, how is it in India? You work with the OEMs?
So we see OEM as our partner as well, but in a different way, like Carwow and brumbrum has. We are focusing on solving the supply of used cars. So our expertise in buying of a used car, our conversions are the highest in the industry. So the way we partner with the OEMs is that we help them improve their trade-in conversion. So
they're trading
conversion. So that they
conversion.
Yes. So they can sell more new cars. So we have partnered with a couple of OEMs back in India where we are kind of running a trade-in setup for them. So and we are providing all the support of the pricing.
You are not replacing the agents, the dealers. You're working with them.
Yeah.
But what's your view? I mean, a car dealer, it's quite interesting when you look at the underlying profit margin of that industry. There's not a lot of money left there. They can certainly not even build a website. I think the net income ratio is like 1%. Is there a future for dealers? Are you going to replace them? What do you think? Is that a model of the past, the car dealers, the offline showrooms?
For new cars, it all depends on the manufacturer. They want to sell through dealers predominantly at the moment. We know that most people still want to touch and see a car. They probably only want to go to one showroom to confirm their choice, but they still want to interact with the car.
Well, there's a favorite test drive, right?
Yeah.
Are you offering that through your platform in a kind of...
It's still a big part of the buying
Still a
experience
big
for
part.
most people. Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about marketing. Opening up large markets. Okay, auto, there's a lot of online going on for a long time, eBay Motors, Trader, etc. But you raised, I think both of you raised over 100 million, you raised 30, a bit younger company, Frontier raised 170. What do you do with that money? Is it, you don't take inventory risk,
No.
you take inventory a little bit,
Yeah.
but what, you have an amazing YouTube channel. They have 2.9 million YouTube subscribers. What works marketing-wise? What channel? Maybe we start in India.
So
What's your most kind of profitable marketing channel?
Yeah, so in India, it's like when we were at the early age, we were leveraging digital platform a lot, performance marketing to acquire customer, and it was giving us a good ROI because any seller who wants to sell a car always look it up online, right, where to sell a car, and it was pretty efficient for us. But the challenge in India, it's very unique. In India right now, there are only 35 car owners in 1,000 population. The same, I would say, if I had to compare to US, it's like more than 800 car owners in 1,000 population. So finding a car seller in India is like a needle in haystack, right? You don't have any car sellers. So
You have 20 million cars, you
Yeah.
said, out of how much population?
more than 1 billion.
1 billion.
Yeah. So it's.
They don't like cars?
So I think it's more about the economy, how the economy was set up. Now people are getting to the income where they can buy cars, and more coming more and
Excuse
more.
me, the car ownership goes up or?
Car ownership is going up big time. So consumers are getting to the bucket where they can actually afford a car. Earlier it was the issue of they can't afford the car. Earlier there was an issue about the cars were way too expensive. It was built out of India, and then the import and all just cost too much money. But now cars are being built within India. So
Okay, so what was the best marketing channel again?
so for me it is like TV.
TV.
Because we can throw a wider net
Right.
at so much population, and we can acquire customers. But yeah, first digital, followed by TV when we scale
Well,
more.
the people who have a TV often probably also have a car.
Yeah.
In Italy, how are you doing?
It depends a lot on the product. So as I said at the beginning, we have two different positionings. On the used car, classifieds are very efficient. However, they're not very scalable. So you might have...
So you advertise on AutoScout?
Yes, it's one of our
Interesting.
partners,
So
not
it's
only
like
AutoScout. but-
vertically you come one step before.
Exactly. So it's one of the partners we're working with. On Car as a Service, Google is working, AdWords is working pretty well because we believe the perception is more as a subscription service as opposed to buying a product. And also the market from an advertising perspective is newer. So it's like a green opportunity for us. And overall, television is also working well. And the reason is if you look at advertising space on TV, you have a huge slot allocated to OEMs, and it's pretty much about it in terms of automotive. You have nothing around retailing in automotive, and this is why we actually took that position, and we are building a brand in that space.
So the OEMs advertise what to buy, and
Exactly.
you advertise how to buy.
Exactly.
How is it in the UK market?
I mean, similar AdWords, it's very clear to get the intent about someone looking to buy a car. So that worked very well. Now, direct word of mouth is by far the biggest majority, which is great because it's free. We have content. So YouTube, as you mentioned, written content. YouTube is a very, very big audience, but it's a very global audience. So we only sell cars in the UK, Germany, Spain. It's a good marketing channel, but it's not massive. And organic search now with the written content is very, very big for us.
Let's talk about the big platforms. Cars is one of the things none of them got right. Even eBay in the UK got slapped by AutoTrader, and the same happened in the US when Cox took over. But then you had CarGuru coming in out of nowhere. It's so funny, yeah? You think the industry is done, and then somebody else comes in and does it a little smarter. You always have to disrupt yourself. Amazon is obviously the largest retailer in the world. Do you think they will enter the car space? Can they enter the car space? Are they becoming too powerful? Or maybe Facebook, or maybe Google, or who else? Do you have any big platform fear?
Well, Amazon has done a couple of tests in cars and services in several European countries. The rumors I heard is it didn't quite work the way they expected. I think, personally, I am prudent and also on the look for what they are, thinking about the category. Of course, it is a risk. They have huge, customer base, huge data, database, etc. So you have to look at them, prudently. However, the automotive vertical is very much custom, so logistics wouldn't work for them. The user experience in buying a car or the payment systems when you have to manage a 20,000 euro transaction is not quite the same as they have. So there are also specificities. For example, we just built a factory in northern Italy to refurbish thousands of cars per month.
Oh, wow.
So this is not something you invent, overnight, even if you are Amazon. So I think
it's very, very vertical.
Yes.
What do you think, James?
Yeah, I think Amazon the most likely by far. They have done tests, and the rumors we've heard is
Could they?
not that
I
interested.
mean, at some point,
I think they do it
kind
as a
of
marketplace.
do everything, right?
Yeah, they do it as a marketplace, as they do with many things. And I think new cars will be more likely than used because they can have the quality control over it, as you're saying.
Well, at this stage, time is up. I want to say thank you very much
Thank you.
for being with us. It's one of those sectors, I think, where we will have a lot of joy in the next many, many years to come. You think in 10 years, 20, 30% online car buying share, more or less?
Yeah.
Easily.
Easy, huh?
More than that.
If we still have cars. If you remember Volocopter, they're flying. You should add air taxis. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you
really
very much.
nice to have
Cheers.
you.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you.